You know, there are so many different types of chocolate chip cookies. You got the thick ones, you got the thin ones, you got a bunch of different types of chocolate that you can use. But what actually makes the best chocolate chip cookie? I guess the best thing I could do is just to, if it's by Josh, it's gotta be the best, right? Let's make it.
Classic Lay's.
Did I really just put potato chips in cookies? Yeah. But will they be the best cookies that I've ever had? I guess we'll find out at the end. But right before we get started, I just want to give a genuine thank you to anybody watching this video. Whether you like, subscribe, or just leave a comment, just know it means the world to me. Okay, let's go.
This is the best chocolate chip cookie recipe I have ever made. 3.5 ounces of dark chocolate and 3 ounces of milk chocolate.
Because I'd like to think I care about my health, I'm just gonna be using dark chocolate here.
So you're gonna rough chop your chocolate, maybe 2 more passes.
This is way harder to cut than it looks. Maybe I just need a sharper knife or something. I'm gonna set that aside in a bowl.
You can see how some of the chocolate from the chopping ends up like powderizing. I leave it in because then when you fold it into the dough, you get kind of this marble effect where the chocolate isn't just the little chunks of chocolate, but it's actually a part of the dough too.
I'm not gonna lie, I usually just eat all these crumbs, but I'm gonna add it in this time because he said so.
Now that the chocolate's out of the way, we can make our dough. 1/2 cup of white sugar and 3/4 cup of light brown sugar. Break the brown sugar up and then whisk that together.
White sugar goes in, not white sugar goes in.
Add a 1/2 cup of melted unsalted butter, not brown.
Gonna melt this unsalted butter. I feel like this is the first time in a while where I'm using regular butter instead of brown butter to make cookies. Don't you think the brown butter would make it better?
Shut up! Every cookie recipe uses brown butter now. I don't know when this became a thing.
I think most people just really like that nutty flavor that you get from the brown butter.
Next, we're gonna add 1 whole egg. Crack that in.
Cracking in a whole egg.
Beat it quickly so that it emulsifies.
Beating as quickly as I can.
We're gonna add another emulsifier, a whole egg yolk. So crack that carefully. You can run it between your fingers so that the white falls below and then the yolk goes in.
I've always done the strategy where I separate the yolk in the eggshell, but there's probably like an 80% chance that I break the yolk during the process. And this time, I don't think I was too lucky.
Oh shit. Beat this yolk in. Again, make sure that that's fully incorporated, fully emulsified. A full teaspoon of kosher salt. If you use fine sea salt, then do a 1/2 teaspoon.
1/2 teaspoon of salt.
A 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Whisk that in.
Baking soda, I got
2 teaspoons of vanilla extract.
I have really cheap vanilla extract, so I'm gonna use 3.
1 cup plus 6 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. I'm gonna add 1/2 of that first.
Adding in half the flour and then folding it in. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't sift it, so hopefully it doesn't affect it too much.
Once that's mostly incorporated, I'll add my other 1/2 and I'll just gently stir and fold that together. Really important that you don't overmix this.
I'm gonna add the rest in and hope I don't overmix it. I'm sure the dough will tell me.
I got my secret ingredient. I know what you're thinking, why are you putting chips in it? Guess what else is in the name? Chip.
So I don't have kettle chips, so I gotta use classic Lay's. I guess you could say that this recipe is a classic.
Then you're gonna add all your chocolate and you're gonna fold that all together.
I'm gonna fold in all the chocolate.
Why is it sticking to my spatula so much?
I think it's looking pretty good.
Cookie dough's done. Just cover this, put this in the fridge overnight. When you bake them warm, they spread and they're gonna get super thin. You're gonna go, Josh, your recipe sucks.
As much as I wanna make these right now, I believe what he says, so let's throw this in the fridge.
1 eternity later.
Oh, this is what we're working with.
The one thing nobody seems to talk about is your cookie scoop size. It matters.
I mean, I got 2 different spoon sizes, if that matters.
Each size you go up, you'll reduce the total yield by about 25% each step up.
Okay, so here I wanted to make the medium-sized cookie.
You're gonna scoop the cookies just like you did before. Mound it on top, and pop that bad boy out.
Gotta use the spoon method here. And honestly, it's not too bad. It's definitely easier than I thought it would be. So I'm gonna scoop out 6 of those to put on this tray, and then 6 more for the other tray, but they had to be larger because I didn't want to have any leftovers. Not a good idea. So here are all the cookies. I'm pretty excited to bake them. Hopefully I didn't overmix them, but they're looking pretty good. So I completely forgot to record earlier when I initially took them out of the oven, but I'm not gonna lie, I fucked up. They still look pretty good, but when I saw him remove the cookies from the baking tray onto a cooling rack, I thought it would be a good idea to immediately do it instead of wait.
Now we're going to let them sit on the parchment paper for 5 minutes.
Ooh, so that's the part I missed. Just like I thought, the big cookies were way too big for the sheet.
This looks like a really nice cookie.
Some of the smaller ones look pretty nice though. You know, the ones that didn't fuse to the cooling tray.
I ended up making like cookie donuts.
Even though they've been cooling for a while, they seem to be super wet, so I'm just going to move the ones that have at least some structural integrity. And then once that's done, I can try it out to see if it really is the best chocolate chip cookie I've ever had.
Let's try this one.
You can probably hear it, but the cookie is super chewy. It might have been either A, the way I cooked it, or B, just the way that the dough is made, but damn, it's decadent.
I love how much dark chocolate's in it. When it comes to a chocolate chip cookie, they're so sweet and buttery already. I think the dark chocolate does a really good job at counteracting it. I do taste the potato chips in there.
The potato chips do add a difference though when it comes to the texture of the cookie. It kind of feels like oatmeal when you're eating it, but because it's so crunchy and salty, you can tell it's a potato chip, and honestly, I like it a lot. So is it the best cookie that I've ever had? I'm gonna say, truthfully, no.
Immediately eject that person from the building.
I know he was super adamant about not browning the butter, but I'm not gonna lie, I think it would actually make it better. But I respect it. Joshua Weissman knows what he's doing. And it was still a really good cookie. So try it out for yourselves. Thanks, guys.